In firefighting and public safety, reliability is key. For over 20 years, the Fire Store has equipped first responders with trusted gear featuring brands like MSA Carnes for helmets and Seek for thermal imaging cameras. Stay prepared. Visit thefirestore.com today.
Fire Facilities manufactures steel live fire training towers, customized to meet your training needs. Check us out at FDIC or learn more at firefacilities.com.
Welcome, everybody. It's Eric Dreiman. We're here for the March edition of the Hooks and Hoses podcast. I want to welcome everybody to the episode. Thanks for tuning in this month. My guest this month is Mike Torres. Mike, welcome to the show.
Hey, Chief. How are you? Thank you.
Doing well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this conversation. Mike and I are going to talk a lot about passion for the job and motivation and mentorship and bringing up the next generation, and we'll see where the conversation goes. Mike, before we get going, would you tell the audience a little bit about yourself, your background, your history, and that sort of stuff?
Sure. Name's Mike Torres. Not much special things about me. Been in the fire service going on 27 years now. I started off as a volunteer, stayed with that department for about 23 years. We actually got that place going, 23 of us from the ground up. You had a bunch of board of directors say, hey, here's, a budget of $200,000, build a department. And at the time I was 18 years old, 17 maybe, and I couldn't even balance a checkbook. So I was like, hey boys, anybody got any good ideas? So got into that. I loved it. I actually, truthfully, I want to be like my father, who's a Chicago police officer. He's retired now. And my dad said he'd disown me if I became a Chicago police officer. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll do this fireman thing. It seems pretty cool. And lo and behold, my brother becomes a Chicago cop. That was pretty funny. And he's in the suburbs now, but I stuck with it. I took the Chicago Fire Department test out of fluke. A bunch of guys wanted to take it. I went and took it. And it was one of those things like we got lucky and we did it. So it was pretty cool. So I stayed there for about 17 and a half years and enjoyed it. I bounced around. I think I don't know, I think it was last year or the year before, I got sick. I had a surgery. I was sitting in my couch, sitting straight up, and I saw this thing come up on Facebook. It said chief of training, captain of training. And I was like, oh, that looks interesting. And I said, it just said resume. It just said resume. That's all it was. And I'm like, well, that's easy. I'll do that because I ain't about to do anything else. If it had to do with like an app or a process, I was like, I don't have time for this. I sent my resume. I think 10 minutes later, I got a bing. He said, I'll call you that's the deputy chief. He goes, I'll call you 2:00 your time. I'm like, all right, cool. He called me. We talked. It was a big old ordeal, which is really cool. I ended up knowing the guy, teaching at FDTN one year. That's where I met him. And he goes, you gonna quit Chicago and come here, bro? And when he said bro, I said, oh man, I must know this guy. I felt so bad. He's like, hey, you know what? You're gonna come on out here and visit. So I got up, injured, sick. I drove all the way to Colorado, did a quick interview with him and the chief, and lo and behold, I got a job and I came back and quit that Monday morning. So that's where I'm at right now.
Cool. Well, it's quite the ride. You've been around the block a few times. Going from Chicago to Colorado had to be quite a shift in culture, I would think. But
yeah, it's a little weird. I think I didn't vibe really well out there. I don't think and I don't mean to downplay or disrespect anybody on the West Coast, but it's different. The culture in the fire service is different, really different.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine. I'm heading out there. I've got to go to Glendale next week. So,
oh yeah,
yeah, I'm going to be out there for 4 days teaching. So, I'm probably going to get a little bit of culture shock myself. So,
no, I'm not saying they're bad or anything. That's not that, but it is
no,
definitely
not at all.
For us Midwestern individuals. You coming from Indy, me
Yeah.
from Chicago. It's ingrained in our skulls how certain things have to be a certain way. And so now I'm in Kentucky now. I took a position out
Mhm.
here. I had a bunch of great departments that had offers that I was like, oh man, I don't know which one to choose from. We sat down and I tried to strategically chose the one that I think it was best fit for me because I felt good in my stomach about it. Like my tummy felt,
Mhm.
I don't say tummy all the time, but my tummy felt good. And I'm a grown man, Chief. I don't say tummy all the time,
Yeah.
but it felt really good in my stomach. And I was like, you know what? This seems like a healthy place. This is where I feel happy at. I am happy.
Yeah.
Everything's great. There's nothing wrong. But now that I'm kind of in the groove, it's like, what else is out here? And, I'm back down to where I'm at, starting all over again. It's
Mhm.
kind of weird. But I still got a lot of life left in me. And it's just really hard to, the saying goes, a couple people say, and it's not this place, but in the area, it's where there's a lot of paramedic firefighters out here. And
Mhm.
it's like, all right, well, we can get into the culture. Let's build the culture, right? If you don't have your brand, you don't have that culture, let's build it. Where do you want to go?
Mhm.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's different out here for sure. For sure. But I'm close to home
Yeah.
now. I'm close to home. I'm close to you guys. I'm close to a lot of things. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's great. That's quite the ride, quite the story. So, as I mentioned earlier, I want to talk about passion and passion for the job and bringing up the next generation. And you kind of hit on something that I think that's important that kind of goes along with that. And that is, you just said, you want to build your culture, build your brand, build an identity, right? So, could you elaborate a little bit on that as far as, what you've what you vision as a good culture, how you go about developing people to have that that mindset, that company pride, that pride in your department, pride in your station, that sort of stuff.
I think I'll be honest with you, it's probably one of the most crucial things. And maybe childish, and people are like, well, I can use this place for an example, and I will. And it's no disrespect to us or me because I'm part of the organization. And I see other organizations. I don't know it all. I never claim to know it all. I'll never claim that I've seen it and done it all. I have to give as much as I dislike, hate's a bad word, as much as I dislike the one chief that I had in the over back in Colorado. He was a good man. He's definitely a good man. It's just that he was misled and not understood really well. And he did teach a few things. He said rebranding and forming your own identity is huge, based off of traditions of your traditions. And I took that little nugget. I was like, man, you can learn, and you do learn this from everybody. You learn good, bad things from people. And he had some pretty good nuggets. Didn't overwhelm his bads, but it definitely overwhelmed, it had a lot of goods. And I took that and I sit there and as I interviewed and I did things and I thought about it to myself, I'm like, you know what? If we can sit there and build your brand, and what does that mean? I mean, like, there's stuff on social media. There's all this stuff. There's stickers and stuff you put on your helmets. I think it's too much, but that's just me. That's just me. I think you need to dig deep and find out what your department is. And there's this big thing about retention and recruitment. And here in Kentucky, it's a big song and dance. You got guys jumping from department to department for money, an extra $1,000, another Kelly day, another what we call them daily days in Chicago. Maybe $1,000 extra, or they get some more PTO time. To me, it's about loyalty. I can't do that. Like that's not me. I can't go and jump for, oh, this department's going to give me an extra Kelly day. Wow, that's significant enough for me to leave. I feel like you sit there and show off. It's sex sells. Let's be honest. You can sit there and make your department super sexy and show them like, hey, we have this. We have this culture. You'll see in like ads. You'll see in ads like for departments hiring aggressive truck culture, right? You'll see, no ambo. You'll see no transports, whatever. It blows my mind. Station pride, deep, rich in culture. It's like, all right, like okay, that does attract me, right? And if you sit there and sell that and say, hey, look, I'm trying to how do I keep guys? How do I keep stuff? I was the state representative for Colorado for the NVFC, and I said, hey, one of the things is to build that culture, that bond, that brand. Say, hey, this is Department XYZ. We go to training, we promote the training. We want you to go and be aggressive about it. We like company patches, station pride. Build me a challenge coin, bring it to me, hang up your company pride here. And I think people get it confused with hazing and being cocky and arrogant. I don't think that's truly it. I think a lot of misunderstood chiefs and leaders in the fire service get that confused with they're trying to take over. The kids are trying to rule the island. You know what I mean? That's not what it is. It's you want people to stay, give them a sense of identity, make them feel like this is me. I'm buying into this department. I'm buying into this culture and this love. And I use that word like a lot. I use that word love. You want to love where you're at. You want to love the people you're with. And it is something that can sell and keep retention in your department, building that culture, that representation of who you are, that identity. It's a big deal. I feel like if your department's not spending a little time into it, thinking it's not a childish thing, oh, these guys just want stickers and stuff to put all over the place. You know what? Yeah, it it is a little childish, but you know what? Guys like me are like, dude, yeah, I got like sticker here, truck 20. Like, I love that shit. Like, who doesn't like stickers? Like, you tell I love stickers. And it's a simple thing. It's like Maslow's scale, like Maslow said, all you need is like a roof over your head, money, food, this and that. Well, you know what? Firemen need, it's a whole nother spectrum. They need stickers, challenge coins, pride, aggressive culture. That's what we need. And if you don't give that to us and you don't allow us to, spread our wings and fly baby birds out of the nest, we're not gonna do what you want. I mean, imagine, Chief, imagine if you, and I know you do it, but imagine if you gave it to a chief or a battalion chief or just, chief in general gives their people the empowerment to do and let them fly. Keep them in the barriers, just like a parent, right? You keep them, like I keep my kids, I let them do their thing, but I don't let them get out of the guardrails, right? If you just keep them in the guardrails, we're going to be all right. Imagine what they're going to come up with. I mean, it is just, they're going to do things that you never thought were possible. They're going to be out there painting posts and, putting labels on the front of the rigs, like, or on the front of the garage doors, like engine, so and so, truck that. Like, ooh, that little shit right there makes those guys feel like $1 million. Like they belong here. That is that is branding, that is culture, that is tradition, that is things that if you allow your people to do, board members, chiefs, elected officials, you let us do those things. They're small. We're not going to be disrespectful, but you allow us to do that. Oh, you're going to have, we'll do whatever you want us to do. You tell us next week we got to wear pink tutus. Yeah. You let us still do what we're doing. Absolutely. Bring them on. I'm a 2X tall. I'll,
Yeah.
I'll do whatever you want me to do. So you gotta understand it's a give and take thing. I think it's a give and take when it comes to that.
Absolutely.
A balance.
Yeah, it goes a long way having that pride, and but you got to have the firefighters have to have pride in where they work too, and I think that's important because I've seen guys and worked around firefighters who say, "Man, this place sucks," this place, I don't like it here. This is woe is me, and that's tough, man. You gotta nip that stuff pretty quick when you come across it and say, look, man, what are you doing to fix it, right? You can sit here and sob and cry and carry on and wallow in your own misery, but what are you doing to fix it? What are you guys at this kitchen table doing to have an impact? And so many guys just want to sit there and bask in their misery instead of, or not a ton. There's not, it's not like it's rampant, but I have seen that where stations just
It only takes
don't
one,
have it.
Chief. It takes one.
Yeah,
It takes one bad apple, and I know that's so cliche, right? One bad apple. It truly does. And again, I have to fall back on that one chief. Like, granted, whatever it is, it's over now. But he had some good nuggets, and he always said that one bad it will drag a shift. It'll get like one or two guys on the shift, and then the whole shift is in that negative. Then that whole shift turns into the other shift, and then you got the battalion or however large you are, or however it's cancer. You got to cut it out, right? Like, do you want cancer in you? No, I don't either. So, and again, sometimes it's misled. That individual may not be like as canceristic as we're talking, right? I don't even know if that's a word, but we're gonna make it up today, Chief. They're not as bad as that, but they could be. It could lead to other things. It could lead to, more negativity. And again, like I said, it only takes that one individual. It doesn't take many. And you, you know what? I don't know what it is. Why is leadership so scared? And I talk, and I being in the position I was in, just come to me. What do you need me to make you better? Right? That's my goal. It's like, how can I make you more successful? If you don't want to be here, how can I make you better to go somewhere else? Like, I will. And it's not a rude thing. It's like, hey, dude, I really want to test for Colorado Springs, or I want to go and work for Chicago or New York or, Indianapolis. All right, dude, what do you need? Like, well, I need to get this and this. I need to get in shape. I need this cert. I need this qualification. I need to pass this test. All right, bro, let's do it. Let me get you qualified. Let me get you certified. Let me get it all done for you. And I will do it with you, and I will be there every step of the way, knowingly that you're going to leave me, right? Good or a bad person, I'm going to do that because that is what I'm supposed to do, right? I'm where I need to be, right? I will make my way no matter what it is. I'll survive. But there's some people that are a little lost and unguided, and they turn that into aggression. They turn it into anger. I fucking hate this place. Excuse me, my language, Chief. I don't know if I could swear, but I hate this place. This place is awful. This is the worst place. The leadership stinks. This sucks, dude. The first thing, and all the guys say, they're like, then just go, get out of here, man. Why are you staying here? Well, it's good. It's good money. I don't know where else to go. Nobody else is hiring. Well, that's not my problem. That's not my problem. Like, either you're gonna get on, look, you're either going to stand on the curb or you're going to get on the bus, but no matter what, I'm driving this bus. I'm driving it. And it's going to go into a happy place. I'm not going to lead you down to a place where you're going to be unhappy because I don't want to be unhappy. I don't call it work. I call it the firehouse. It's the day you start calling it, hey, I got to go to work. That's when you hate life. You hate life. Like I was calling Chicago for the last couple of years, like I got to go to work, and morale. I remember the Father Macron, when he was still the city of Chicago's chaplain. He's still highly involved. He's the IFF's chaplain, actually. And he sent out a letter of how bad morale was. Like, he's never seen it in his history of the chaplain of CFD. And this man, like, we all look up to. He baptized my children. Like, we all look up to this guy, and we're like, ugh. He thinks it's pretty bad, and he's the eyes of the Lord, and he's telling us we're in a bad spot right now. And I'm like, ugh. I love them when they wrote the letter, and I love anybody that tells you how bad the morale is. But I had Chief John Hojak, awesome chief. He was a chief in Oak Lawn, and he was also chief in hometown for us for quite some time. He always said, like, I don't want to hear it. All you're doing is bitching to me. Stop bitching and give me a solution. Otherwise, it's just bitching, dude. Give me something. Like, all right, morale sucks. What do you want to do? I'm like, oh, that's where I first learned of like, hey, chief, can I have these loads? We hate these hose loads. They suck. He's like, hey, guess what, Mike? I'm never going to pull that shit off. I'm never going to touch it. If you find me touching your hose, we got a problem. He's like, you guys like this? Do it. I don't want to hear about it. Just put it in an order, practice, train on it, make sure all shifts know you're good to go. I'm like, oh, it's that easy. Yes, it is that easy. And that's where it comes to like change. I hate where I'm at. I don't hate where I'm at. I hate where I go and where I'm at now and currently, and anywhere I hear it from anyone, I hear the same thing over and over again. We can't do it. Just can't. Won't let us. Leadership dump. They don't like it. I go, have you ever talked to him? Have you ever sat down and questioned it? Like, why do we have pistol grips on our pipes, on our nozzles? Like, just because you store bought them, they come like that. You leave when you buy a picture frame at the store. When you like, think of this. When you buy a picture frame at the store, you leave that fake family in it? No, you don't. You put your picture in it. And I don't want to have I don't need that on my pipe. I know what to do with it. I don't need that thing. Like, cut it off. Like, they make a great coat
Yeah.
hanger for the coats. Great coat hanger.
Yeah.
But like I said, these are things like I think the fire service, and this is all encompassing, like leadership, branding, culture, like that encompasses. That's the umbrella. You had a big umbrella. It's the shape of a C. Don't you ever notice that the umbrella shape is culture? You're holding it right, and you're sitting there going, you know what? If all this stuff can stop it, and I can make it better with just a little change of culture, but again, if the Chiefs aren't buying into it, they're having a hard time. They don't see the strategic level goals and wins, the big ones, the big pictures. Um, they're looking at task oriented. They're looking at the now. They're never going to get over it. You won't get to that point. It's going to be that constant horrible morale, the beating down. It's coming along a long way. Us traveling everywhere, you and I, and places I've been, places you've been. You see, there is good change. There are good departments trying their hardest, but every time they take a few steps forward, the Chiefs they get scared, right? They get like, oh, wait a second. They just had this new article, NFPA, the two way, like people are talking about this and that. They get scared. And it's okay. It's all right, Chief, we're here. We're all behind you. Like, you've gotten us this far. Let's keep pushing. Like, don't cop on me now, you've had the hard battles already, you let us get station patches, like you're almost there. So I think if we, start addressing a little bit more of that, and it's a game changer. It's a game changer. I know of departments currently that don't need to have this talk to them. They're already drinking the Kool-Aid. They know the secret, and they're doing a great job. There are great departments out there, absolutely great departments. And I think we can, successfully keep trucking away at it. We'll be better, but it's going to take a long time. More than us, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I think you mentioned something that kind of made me think. It seemed like back in the '90s when I got involved in the fire service, and then into the early 2000s, even to the mid 2000s, there was all this emphasis on more specialty stuff, right? Like RIT, hazmat, ropes, all this special operations stuff, and that stuff's all important. I'm not saying it's not, but now it seems like in the last maybe 5 years, you have a lot more of these micro conferences. You have a lot more return to culture and the basics, and you don't need a whiz bang 3-to-1 this or that or the other thing to pull ceiling, right? You need a New York roof hook and a guy that knows how to use it, and I think that's brought a lot of that firemanship type culture, or it's starting to bring a lot of that firemanship type culture back into the job. It's stuff like, why do we have pistol grips on our nozzles, right? It's because they came that way. No, it's guys actually care more about the details and getting in the weeds rather than just, well, this is what they gave me, so this is what I'm going to use, kind of thing, right? And I just think that's kind of been a big impetus for a lot of these things that we're seeing too. So I
I think
don't know if you got any thoughts on that.
I love these little conferences. I love being a part of them. I mean, I know guys prior to me. I mean, people I look up to, Sherivinos, the Hoffs, you name the names. They're big names. People all know these people. People I look up to, and the Hojaks, Lou Lake. I mean, guys that I think at their time when they started these organizations, fools organizations. That's a simple, easy one, right? Um, I never thought it was, I mean, those organizations were incredible and they done a long things. And now you've seen them growing into this animal that it is that we are now. People always say it's a beautiful time to be in life right now because all this technology and culture. I think it's a beautiful time to be a fireman right now. I mean, the outreach and the support, um, and we'll get into something that a little bit later if I can remember. But I think, anywhere you go, there's something to learn. There's a class somewhere in any state, any corner, they're doing something. 90% of them are doing the right thing. Almost all of them are doing the right thing. And then I'm not pointing out anybody or fuse, but then sometimes I think it's misdirected. I think it's their own personal notoriety that, they have to be known, right? It's me teaching. It's come see me. I'm going to come up with a new formula and this new way of looking at things. And I want to create up a new an acronym, and this is how we're gonna do it. Dude, I am. I'm not that old, and I haven't been on the job as long as you and many others before you, right? And last time I heard, Bob Presley didn't make up anything new. Like Mike Lombardo. I haven't heard anything really crazy new, right? They new stuff's out, like a couple other things that we have to deal with, but nothing's new, right? We're not having to come up with a new thing in a book, a new technique and a new this and a new that. Now, don't get me wrong, there are great new techniques, and there's some things for search and working the pipe and going up Kyle Rumagast, his stairs, his attack with certain things, Aaron Fields with his communication with moving hose lines. Like, don't get me wrong, it's fucking amazing information. It's great. It's amazing. But I feel that there is some ones out there that give the wrong information and might get people hurt. Right. I just feel like, hit it all, but take some things and fact check, double check, and triple check. I had a guy tell me, like, man, I would do a podcast on you. We wanted to get you out here, but we couldn't find anything on you. Like, we don't know who you are. You don't have like 6 books and 15 articles in Fire Engine magazine. And, like, I'm like, yeah, that's good. That's good. Like, I want to be able to touch you personally. I want to tap you on the shoulder and go, we have met. You like me? I like you. We're cool. And we like doing cool stuff. And I like fireman stuff. I have some stuff to offer, but seek me out. I'm not going to be that one, like, posting up a ton of stuff. This is what we're doing. Hooray. Like, look at me. It's my ninth book. I don't care. Like, I just don't like, I for me, and I'm not discrediting all the guys that are doing great work out there. They have books. I'm not jealous. I don't want nothing to do with that stuff. I like these little podcasts. I like these things. These are cool. This is more my speed. And but maybe one day we'll talk about a book deal. I don't know. But I think that, what I have seen, I'm just like I'm blown away. Like I don't want to be that guy. I want to be able to leave my my son is going to be my legacy, right? People are like, "What's your legacy in the fire service?" My son, hopefully, is going to be the legacy, right? I just want to leave a little shit stain on the fire service, something that's like, "Oh, I remember that." And something as simple and as dumb as everyone say, it's the halyard tie Mikey ties, right? I'm a little bashful. And when I hear like somebody's heard it and I've never been there before, and that word traveled all the way across the country that somebody heard this, I'm like, hey, dude, like, no offense, like, where'd you hear that from? And I get a smile on my face like I am now. And yes, I'm like a proud father. I'm like, that's pretty cool. It's not a huge thing. It's not a big deal. I'm not changing the fire service as a whole. I'm not making some monumental moves. I don't need to be in a book. I don't need a book deal. But I sit there and I smile. I'm like, you know what? It's working. It's your knowledge, chief, my knowledge. Somebody that had something good to put in, they heard a class and they thought it was valuable and they took it and they did what the challenge was. I always like challenge coins, right? Challenge coins are, that the applicable, like, I'm going to slap it on the bar. You don't have it. You got to buy me a drink, you piece of shit, you're a load, and the rep, it's like a motorcycle gang with the leather coats, they're biker gangs logos. That's like our thing, right? And I think I look at it as something different. I carry a certain challenge coin for a certain reason because I like to challenge you and others to be better than me. I want you to do more than I can ever do. I want you to do something that I can never imagine. When I first taught at FDIC, I literally I cried. I I ain't ashamed. I teared up, and I teared up because I don't care what people say. I've been teaching at FDIC for years. That's cool, great, good for you. You're a big name, big dog. For me, it was a big deal, and what made it even more strange and more personable, all the coins were labeled, and I turned it over, and it had the numbers. And this is creepy as shit, Chief. 468. 468. That is the first rig number I started on in hometown. And that is still the current number on our rigs in hometown, Illinois. 468. And I looked up at the sky, and my mentor, Anthony Volpe, I said, hey, bro, remember when you always talked about going to FDIC and we used to go, you take us as we were kids. We're going to go to this big thing in Indianapolis where all the meatheads go and they love the fire service. And oh my God, I was like, hey man, I made it. Like, hey, you remember those guys we always saw we try to teach one day? He was actually in an article for Fire Engine magazine. I mentioned it, but I'm like, hey, dude, we did it. And I don't mean I did it. We did it. You're long gone, bro. But I can look in my back seat. He's still sitting there. He's like, hey, Mike, tell Alex he's going to be okay today. You know, you're going to be okay. Right. I'm never alone without my guys. I'm like, dude, that was a big deal to me. And I think, these little tiny conferences, all these full chapters, keep going. Don't stop. Keep giving this information to young minds. I can't get enough of it. It is, and there are kids out there hungry for this stuff. These things are free. Some of them are free. They're taking their own personal money and doing this stuff, and they're doing great things. I don't stop. I think what's happening in some of these conferences, it's starting to come to where like, oh wow, people like me. I get to teach. I get to make money off this, and their perception of what they're doing it for has gone astray. Right? The guys are like, hey, how much, Mike? How much you charge? You come on, teach. I go, just give me some gas money, and if I need to stay a day or two, just put me in a firehouse or a hotel. I don't need money, right? Can I justify that to my wife? No. Uh,
Yeah.
she's not happy about that. She's still never happy. She's still never going to get it, but she gets it, right? And that's just
Yeah.
that's how I do business. I want to give while I'm still on this earth, give as much as I possibly can to everybody. Whatever little nugget it is, I can't stop until it's over, right? Then we're good. You know what? I may not touch everywhere on the earth. I don't have a bunch of books hanging on shelves and articles, but you know what? You experienced this crazy thing you see in front of you. And hey, maybe it helped out. Maybe it didn't. But I like to think that we're all trying to do something for the betterment of the good.
Yeah. No, I think you are. And I know, when we were up in Michigan last year together, and I'd come from Indianapolis, and I had my Suburban, had the seats all folded down. I had all this equipment that I brought with me, hand tools, four splinter prop, everything. And then here you roll up in the pickup truck that you've driven from Colorado, and you got like 10 times as much stuff that you brought with you as I did with me. And I thought I was doing good. So, um, you definitely got, and it was like, oh, you need a torque wrench. Oh, here you go. Here, Mike's got it in his truck. You need a rotary saw. Oh, Mike's got one. It was like you brought the whole firehouse with you, man. That just showed me that, yeah, you were really, you're you're doing good things, and you're in it for the right reasons, and you definitely love what you do, and that was very apparent. Um, so, how do you bring up? You talked about your mentor that you had, when you first got into the job. Um, what are some tips or some suggestions you would have for either people who want to bring up that next generation, or for the more importantly for those younger guys who are looking for that? Maybe they're in an organization where they feel stymied, or they feel pigeonholed, and they don't have, um, maybe access to as many people who are as passionate as a Mike Torres. How do you got any tips or recommendations for folks about how to work through those challenges?
You know what? Let's start off with the organization. Well, let's start with mentors and mentorship and things like that. I think I don't call them mentors. I know that everyone calls them mentor. I say the word, but I call them wise men. I have to speak to the wise men. And I don't just have one. I have one for everything. And let me make that make more sense. When I was in deep water and I needed help to navigate being on a chief level operation stuff and questions about operations, organizations, chief level stuff, I I can only think of one guy that I know I can trust. I know for 20 plus years was Chief Scott Thompson, right? So I call Chief Thompson. I go, Chief, man, I'm screwed. What should I do? I need your help. And he goes, you're doing everything right. Every day we talked, and he navigated me through chief stuff, right? Because I don't know too many chiefs that are available and are still in the game and are that are at that what's the that level of playing in the ball league and the national league type of deal, in my opinion, like when he runs an organization, because I needed those kind of questions answered. Um, and he's like, I got you. So that's my Wiseman. I need to know. I got a Wiseman for 4th century metals, bolts, on weird numbers. I call Sammy Hiddle. Sammy, I have no idea what's going on right now. Like, what is he talking about? He's telling me that this won't hold that. He goes, Mike, that's crazy. Scott Kleinschmidt. I can go forever with names, but I have all of them. And I am so, so, so lucky to have all these people in my life. These are friendships, bonds, love. They're family. Family I have here in Kentucky. I don't have family. They're all friends, but I call them family. I love them all. Steve Alley, Chris Spears. These guys are from Ashland. Like these are people I look up to, and they're mentors that got me out of deep waters and got me and navigated and protected me in a safe place where I was lost. And you need that. So if you don't have that in your organization, you do. Believe it or not, you do. It's those weird guys that sit in the corner. They're watching something on the computer they shouldn't be watching. Those are the guys. Those are the weirdos. And you just pick their brain. And believe it or not, sometimes it's even the older guys. It's just that nobody approached them. Nobody told the old guy, "Hey, Jim, can you? I really want to know how'd you do that ladder thing, or what that roof thing? Last time you did that, that was pretty cool." And that old timer's gonna be like, that's his Christmas. He couldn't wait. He's been there sitting there 30 years, taking all the input from all his guys, right? Just waiting for the day some young cat's gonna go, "Hey, bro, how do you do that?" And that's, dude, that the light in his eyes are like, and you got that guy going to classes side by side. He's going to smoke divers with them. Like they're doing it. Like these guys are doing it. That they're there in your organization. You just got to dig deep. It's the ones that try to make proactive change, always get their heads beat up against the wall, and they want to quit. That's where you come in and you go, "Hey, bro, let's not quit. I like what you're doing too. Hey, I always wanted to do the same thing." They're there in the organization. They're hard to find. Now, hypothetically, because I'll be honest with you, I've been in large, small, medium, combination, all volunteer. I've been in a lot of departments. And there's always one, at least one. And once you get one, you get more. First, you sniper them. You're like, "I like this guy. He's in it." And then you start to widen up your shot, and you get a shotgun blast with a bird shot. And you get a group of them. It's like, hey, whatever they're doing, that's pretty cool too. So we just have to you have to sit there and buy into that, find that guy, and you will. It just takes some time. If you don't have that, hypothetically, you don't have that guy, you, me, there's guys all over the internet, on Facebook, on Instagram. They're all over the place. It's only the ones that are too busy for you. Those are the ones you don't want to talk to. I honestly, I took something from when I first got into the game of teaching. Arthur actually got me into the game of teaching, right? He's the one that got me into this instructor. I wouldn't be here without him, and it's so weird. I live here with Kentucky with him, right? I got his book, and I'm in the article in the book. And I'm like, "Oh, you son of a bitch." But he told me something. I'm walking with him at FDIC. First time as an instructor, right? Where kind of like that I felt like I was important, it was kind of cool. It was really cool, actually. I'm not gonna lie. And he stopped in the hallway to talk to everybody. Everybody. I'm like, hey, Cap, no offense, Art. We ain't never gonna get to your class. We're never gonna make it. And he goes, "Mikey, we gotta stop, take 5 minutes, and talk. Everybody is affected by you talking to them." And I sit there and to this day, I take that to heart. To this day, you get me on Facebook, you get me on something, I'll be like, "Hey, look, I don't have 2 seconds right now. I'm in the middle of something, but I'm going to call you back, right? I'll message you back, or I'll get what you need, right?" Yeah. Am I always perfect? No, I fall back, and I'm supposed to send out emails and this and that. Sometimes I've dropped the ball. Just reach out to me again and go, "Hey, Mikey, you forgot about me. My bad." That happens, because my brain's all over the place and I got a million things I got going on. But I will get to you, and I will get that done. So I think that's super important, to take the time and talk to people. I feel like if you don't have enough time to answer a question, I see it all the time. There's big dogs. You try to reach out to them on social media, and I'm sure they get a million. It's like a celebrity, right? You get a million people that want to reach out to you and ask you a question, and even if it's so benign and boring and dumb, you still answer them. I feel like those individuals that don't have the time to answer them and don't have the humility to do that, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want you in my Wiseman group, and it's no offense to you. You're probably a great man, great husband, great wife. You're probably a great leader. You're probably, everything's good about you. It's just the fact that I needed you there right now, and I needed something really quick, right? Like on Facebook Messenger, there's this huge group. I forgot what it's called, like Firehouse something, but everybody's on there, right? I can get something, and 2 minutes later, Cody Tresdale says something. William Knight says something. Mike Heaney from Austin. Somebody's saying something like, "Hey, check this out," or Shane from Hawaii. There's always somebody that has some helpful information that'll help a brother out, right? And that networking within this, I truly think the word brotherhood is a little bit abused if you don't stick behind it. Otherwise, to me, it's just a DVD. It's a DVD, right? Brotherhood. It's just a DVD. You don't believe in that shit. You want to believe in it, but when shit gets tough and stuff is tough and you're having a hard time mentally, physically, emotionally, the job, non-job, you're not there for one another. This comes to the mentorship, the Wiseman. You know what, dude? Lose my number, man. Like, that's horrible. When I was in shit in Colorado and I was looking for help, I, as a man, cried hard of the outpouring of support from my family, the brothers, right? It's alive and well. It's alive and well in here in Kentucky. I ain't gonna lie to you. This brotherhood here is something I haven't seen in in a long, long time. Like, they will bend over backwards for you. Whatever you need, good, wrong, or indifferent, they're gonna work with you. And I'm like, wow. Like, that is what I'm talking about. That is what brotherhood, mentorship, and those are the kind of people you need to find, keep, talk to, bend their ear. They're there. The ones that don't do that, the ones that aren't there, they're just there because, they're that one guy that call you up every once in a while. Hey, how you doing? I think I saw that meme or that conversation. The military says it right. It's that guy who answered that phone at 2 or 3 in the morning and go, hey, I'll be there. I'm that guy. I'll pick up. Send me a text real quick. If I don't answer the text, call my phone. If it's that serious, I'll be there. And I've done that. I'm getting guys out of jail. I picked you up from the bar. I had to figure out DUI problems, real serious problems. And I've been there. I will be that guy. You know, it doesn't matter. I have no limitations to it, but these are the individuals we need to find. And it's a small group of us, right? We start to narrow down that mentorship, the people you're looking to find, but they exist. Your organization, every organization has them. They do. And once you get a hold of them, don't let them go. Right? It's that perfect husband or wife thing. Like, as soon as they're perfect, don't let them go, man. This is the one. So yeah, I think you just take a look, navigate. It takes some time, but you'll find them. You'll find that person.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing you said a lot there that was really good. I think the other thing you have to remember is if you've been doing this for a while and you talk to somebody and you mentioned it, you want those people that return your phone call, that respond to your email. You don't want to, and if they don't, then you probably don't want them in your circle, right? You don't have, people don't realize the impact that some of their statements have, particularly people who've been around a while. I mean, I've had people, and you probably have too, that, coming up to you 10 years later or 5 years later and say, I never really thought about being a fireman until I talked to you and you told me, you explained this to me, or I never even thought about promoting until you encouraged me or whatever. So I think sometimes and I see we collectively as more senior people in the fire service, maybe take for granted sometimes the power we have or the influence that we can have over people. We take it for granted or don't think much about it. But, we can really, really put somebody on the right path or take them off the wrong path, just simply by our words sometimes. And it doesn't take much effort. It's real easy to do. So,
Oh, definitely. You can say, and I learned this from their chief too, is words matter, right? Words matter. What you say, um, it affects them in every which way. And I learned this on a few runs here when I first got here. My mannerisms, this, I guess, doesn't look friendly anywhere. My voice, my wife tells me all the time, it's your voice. I'm like, look, I talk like this to everybody. I'm just an intense person. When it's an emergency, I am in, right? This is my Christmas. I don't care if it's an EMS run, a fire run, it don't matter. Rescue, you name it, I'm in the game, right? And I don't have time for bullshit. I don't have time for people to talk to me about how the weather. You didn't say hi to me on the run. I don't care. I don't. We can talk about it when we're done, right? And but that can turn people off, right? Your words and your. I had a lieutenant tell me, he's like, it's not so much your words, Mike, it's your face and your gestures. I'm like, dude, how the I am who I am, man. Like, I can't
Yeah.
change me. Like, I try. If I could, I would try to change this. But then I have on the other spectrum, the other side of the rainbow, guys are like, dude, don't change anything. You are you. Like, don't do that. Chris Gelpin, he's in Ohio. He's one of the, he's the originator of Oath Keepers, him and Adam Dressler. And I had a long conversation with them when they wanted to do stuff with an organization that wanted to do a lot of articles and talking and books and speaking things. They're like, hey, you got to change. Not these two guys. These guys told me, like, fuck that, Mike. You're you who you are. Do not change you. People come because of who you are. You're real, unfiltered, and you give it to me straight. That's what I want to hear. And I feel like now, in my age and where I'm at, I have critiqued a little bit, right? Being in a higher up role, you kind of have to be like, all right, I got to kind of do this. And I get it, right? But on the other side, I feel like if I don't tell you this and push you to where you need to be, you're not going to be there. You're not going to be the potential that I see, others see that you're going to be great. My kid, perfect example. I want to kick him in the mouth every single day. You heard me. He's here. I He drives me insane because his potential is beyond what I can possibly imagine. And I'm like, dude, I just have to tell it to you truthfully. This is how it is. And you have this in you, right? You can do anything you want. You just got to do it. And I can't lie to you and be like, oh, put kid gloves on. I heard a comedian say, you know, all that coddling like moms do, like, oh, it's okay, get up, touch stuff off. Everyone's a champion. But then you got that dad, get out there and do it. That's the difference between the silver medal and a gold medal. Plain and simple, right? That's it. And I mean, what do you want? Now, I'm not saying harass, bully. That's not what I'm saying. There is a difference, right? And I know the difference. I just want to exploit your potential of how great you really are. I do it in many different ways. I'm bringing a guy to firemanship. I'm teaching this year, and I'm going to give him the lead. Anytime I go to any class, you're going to lead. I'm going to be here. I'm here. I got you, baby. I got you, baby birds. I'll feed you. I'm not going to let you fail, but you're going to teach. You're going to be in that uncomfortable place, teaching in front of 60, 80 people, 100 people. Hey, man, that's where you learn to grow, right? You got guys taking
Absolutely.
instructor one. You guys got being officers. If you're never put in these positions, Chicago was awesome. They let you act up in the seat, especially when they know you're getting promoted, right? You get in that seat and you're doing everything. You're doing the book, you're doing the calls, you're doing the radio, you're doing sides up, real fires. There ain't no, hey, it's game time, baby, right? That is the way to learn. There is no other way. You can't put me on a computer, sit me in front of a computer. You can't PowerPoint me to death. You can't certify me to death. You can't NFA me to death. It ain't going to work. Doing it, touching it, smelling it, feeling it, emotionally, good and bad decisions, good decisions, bad calls, good calls, all of that builds you to what you are today. And I feel like if we don't challenge everybody and do that consistently over and over again, we're you, me, people we call instructors, these leaders of the fire service, I am failing you. If I'm not giving you the whys, taking the time out, going, hey, bro, this is why we do the things we do. And I will take that extra time, stay after class. I have to come back again, whatever. We're going to do it. We're going to get it done. And that is how we can make people want to be in the fire service, do more, be part of it. If you have, it's not coddling, but you have that proactive, dude, I see something in you. Now, hey, there is another side of this rainbow. There's some people that don't belong here. It is what it is. It's tough, right? Every fire department, every job has them. You know how you get rid of them? You're not gonna like it. Time. You're gonna have to wait them out. They're just gonna have to go, right? And it's okay. Deal with it. Build your team, build your guys, keep pushing forward. Don't let the negative and the short timer, the guy there, he's only there for one more cup of coffee and that is it. Just deal with it, right? You can learn from that guy. Do you like his attitude? Well, no. Do you like the way he's doing things? No. Does he go to classes? No. Don't be like him. You just
Right.
learn from
Yeah.
you just learn from him. You know, I
Yeah.
I always I say that same statement when we go to classes. I know who's not into the job or who's not into learning and doing more. It's when they're at a fire, they drop down to two knees and they get dressed. Gloves are under their, like just all properly placed. And, I'm like, oh, you haven't done this in a while or at all. And if whatever you learned here 10, 15, 20, 1 year ago, nobody has told you that that's not how we do things. We just needed to get you this piece of paper and that was it. And some hours. This is how shit gets done. And you know what? That's failure on everybody. Not failure on you, on the company, not the department, the fire service. It's a failure on me too. I feel like shit if I was just there to tell them that. That's not how we do business. Like it's not like I'm some messiah. I'm not. I'm no one special. But I know like that's not right. Right? Simple things. You want to talk about how we can get better and we can, proactive and hot wash shit. Like, dude, why are you on your knees? Stand up, take your helmet off, look at the scene, get dressed. You should already have your gloves on, but be dressed, ready to go. Get a full size up, right? Eddie Enright told me one time they used to have the 3/4 boots. Not one time, we had 3/4 boots. And he used to walk around the fire scene slowly pulling up his boot one at a time. And then he would go get his pack and throw his pack on. And you would think anyone else would be like, dude, what's he doing? Walking? Like, this is pathetic. You see all these cool videos on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all this stuff. These guys are running. I love it. Yes, run, right? Do it. Get there. Quick like a bunny. No running on the fire ground. What he did was turning the tempo down. I'm getting more information that I need to get in my brain to be better. These are those small little things. This isn't life changing, right? This doesn't need to be in the book, but it should be. Like shit like that, like toggles and switches, like Scotty Kleinschmidt always says, like I run my life off with toggles and switches. Like I turn off the shit I don't really want to know. I turn on the stuff that I need to know at this point in time, and that's what I'm gonna do. And then I have a volume control. How loud do I need to listen to this? Or how intensified do I need to apply this? It's not taught. These are basic things. You said this earlier on in this whole discussion was the basics. Like it's just basic shit. This isn't advanced firefighting. This isn't specialty stuff. Like we're already into the whole trick of trades and we can't get down basic shit. Like we just can't. And look, I'm not perfect. I find I equate everything I do is because I'm lazy. And I'm a good lazy. There's got to be a better way to get this ladder from point A to point B, to get this hose line from point A to point B, a better load, whatever the case may be, setting up long lead outs, long drives, porta tanks, drafting, whatever. I lean it towards because I'm lazy. And it's a good lazy. Like, how can I be better? Because that seems like a lot of work. Why are we doing that? The book tells me to do this, the book of lies, the Bible, biblical shit. There's a better way of doing this. Why aren't we doing it this way? This is clearly the best way of doing it. Get whatever we're doing done faster, but we don't. We divert because this is what the book says. We really need to look at stuff like that. So I probably got off into a tangent, but full cycle, whatever we say matters. And we can literally be on that discussion of, not Monday morning quarterbacking shit, because I hate that, but I do like constructive criticism. I do want you to tell me like, hey, dude, what's up? And you know what happens? I did that to a few people on Instagram, like, hey, why are we still doing that? A simple question. Remember, when you text somebody something or you email, they don't explain emotions, right? They don't explain, they just out of general curiosity, I want to know. These guys go straight to defense and go, who are you, dude? Who the hell? I hear you're looking for me. Hey, what is that supposed to mean? Bro, calm down. Maybe I'm missing it. Maybe you want to do this because there's a reason. All I want to know is why. Give me the whys. It's probably because in your area you have to do that. Okay, cool. Thank you. That makes sense. That's why I surround myself around guys that are 100 times better than me. You know, 100 times better than I am as a fireman, as a leader, as a chief, as an officer, whatever, as a father, is because I need to learn from you and you're going to tell me the truth. You're going to be like, nah, Mike, yeah, it's stupid. Or, Mike, that's just because they do it here because of this. Oh, no shit. And I can do the same thing to them, right? You start surrounding yourself against people that are equal to you or less than you because you need to be up here. You need to be the guy on, the platform all the time. And everyone has to have your mouth and your name in their mouth and bragging about you in all these events and conferences. I ask you this. If you're doing all this all over the place and you have to be that guy, who's doing that at your department? Dustin Martinez told me that years ago. And I'm like, damn, dude, I'm at all these conferences. Who's teaching my guys? Who's teaching them the stuff that I need to teach? They need to hear this stuff. Why am I over here in, no man's land doing this? Not that I don't want to or I love the job. It's shit. I forgot about them. And that's where we get astray. And I think that that's the important part of why whatever we do and how we lead it and how we show and words matter get us to where you can be at that level of shit. When somebody says I look up to you, I'll be honest with you, that blows my mind. That blows my mind. When somebody's like, dude, you're not just a friend, it's someone I can ask for, or I ask you because you're someone I respect or whatever. I'm like, oh, ooh, that's a mind blow for my day. My whole day is ruined in a good way. Like, I'm like, it could be like 11:30 at night on a run or something. I had a conversation with, somebody, I can't think of anybody, but they're like, I just start out giggling, like, dude, that dude just said, you believe he said he loves me, or he looks up to me, like he thought I was a good person, or whatever. I'm like, that means a lot, or I'm a good fireman.
Yeah,
Holy
it does.
cow, that means a lot to me.
Yeah,
And you know what? I know whatever I'm doing, as small and as long as I can do it for, it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me.
yeah, absolutely. Whoa,
Sorry, Jim.
Mike Torres, you're
you know,
full. No, buddy. You are full of energy, my man.
oh, I'm
You are
sorry.
one of the most energetic. No. There's nothing to apologize for. I love it. I wish I wish there were more people like you that were so passionate and energetic about the job. I mean, there's a lot of them out there. Don't get me wrong,
Oh, tons.
um, but yeah. So we're coming up on an hour here. So kind of wind things down. For the audience out there who maybe this is the first time they've been introduced to Mike Torres, where are you going to be teaching? How can they get a hold of you if they got questions for you or they just want to connect with you and learn more about you? Um, how do they do that? So,
I do have social media stuff. You can always find me, and it's weird because I don't know how to change it. I got to talk to my kid. Maybe he can help me with it, but it still says Bull Mike or Bull Torres or Bull Mike Torres. It's so stupid. I don't know how to change it. I'm trying to. The only reason why I put that name in there because CFT came out with the social media policy. They didn't want to have your name involved with this, so we changed it. But find me there or just Google my name, Mike Torres. But here's my cell phone number. This is it's crazy if people do this. I do this because it's the best way to get a hold of me. 773-428-1507. Just text me. Be like, I heard you on this podcast, or you want to see me here. I'm in Kentucky. I am teaching. I'll be helping teaching guys in West Virginia soon here at the end of this month. I'll be at FDIC again. I'll be at the Leatherhead booth and the AmKiss booth. I'll majority of the time I'll be in Leatherhead. I love my boys in Leatherhead. They're just my guys. If you if you throw what's that 7 degrees of separation, there's somebody that knows me that know me or whoever you want to get yeah, you might know a guy that you need to talk to, call me, right? Call me. I'm not hard to find. I'm not shy. Like I always said, if I'm too busy or something's going on, I'll call you right back. Just give me a minute. Unfortunately sometimes I am in the middle of something and I gotta call you back, but
mhm.
you guys want to do some crazy training? All the stuff's on the docket. We'll be back in Michigan together. Are you going to Michigan again this year?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
we'll be there again.
yep,
There again. I'll be at Firemanship in
yep.
Aurora, Illinois. I'll be back home in Illinois. Um, I'm all over the place. So wherever they want me, I don't offer classes. If you
Mhm.
want me to come do something, I'll come do it. Like, I don't like to be like that. I'm just a guy. If you call upon me, I'm like that. I'm that lantern. Just rub my lantern and I come. I appear. I'm a genie. I show up out of nowhere. So just
Yeah.
rub my magical my cell phone number lantern or my social media, and I appear, and we'll come do something.
All right. Well, very cool. Mike, I certainly want to thank you for spending an hour with me this morning recording this podcast. It was a lot of fun.
Oh,
I
well,
look
I
forward
appreciate it.
to. I definitely look you up. Of course, I'll be at FDIC myself and doing a lot of different things there. But I'll look you up. Maybe we can get together for lunch or go out for a beer or something.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. We'll go out to dinner. I'll take you
yeah,
out to dinner. My kids, we're getting to the time of he's got to take a CPAT.
yeah. Hey, buddy. Good luck
He's
with that CPAT.
he said good luck. Thank you. He says
Yeah,
thank you. He's
yeah.
nervous as shit. So, but yeah,
I don't blame him.
let's get together and we'll knock this out.
All right, I appreciate it.
No, I
Well,
appreciate you,
don't hang
Chief.
up yet, Mike,
No,
but
I won't.
I'm going to sign off. I'm going to sign off here. Thanks again for tuning in to the March episode of Hooks and Hoses podcast. Thanks to Chief Rhodes, Diane Rothschild, and the staff at Mark Hall, and everybody else at Fire Engineering that makes these programs possible. Till April, hopefully my next episode will be coming from the Fish Bowl at FDIC, so we'll be doing that live. Right there from the exhibit floor. So I'm looking forward to that. Look me up if you're going to be in town for FDIC. Reach out to me. We can get together and have a chat or discuss business. Looking forward to seeing everybody out there. So thanks again and have a good month.
In firefighting and public safety, reliability is key. For over 20 years, the Fire Store has equipped first responders with trusted gear featuring brands like MSA Carnes for helmets and Seek for thermal imaging cameras. Stay prepared. Visit thefirestore.com today.
Fire Facilities manufacture steel live fire training towers, customized to meet your training needs. Check us out at FDIC or learn more at firefacilities.com.